You know who I am, you know where to find me, and let's get into it. So, today is going to be a little shorter version of a longer video that I'm working on about the tradwife. For those of you who don't know, tradwife stands for traditional wife. And it's really ironic because if you look at Wikipedia, Wikipedia will tell you that a tradwife in recent Western culture typically denotes a woman who believes in and practices traditional sex roles and marriage. And I think that is really funny when you think about it because, well, you'll see. Anyway, the main reason, and if you see me looking down, is because I'm looking at my phone because I took the screenshots here. The main reason why I brought this up is because there's some young lady called Isabella who decided to make this interesting post about her apparel when she's at the gym. And I'm still looking for it. And because I have two versions of the screenshot. Hers says the following: "This is how women should dress at the gym. See, ladies, it's not hard. You can do it too. Believe in yourself and stop being a whore." Now, this is all because women go to exercise in comfortable clothing so that they can work out and not trap themselves in the clothes. The reason why I bring that up is because even though it looks like jeans and a t-shirt and a flowy shirt, she claims those are yoga pants. I'll get to that in a second. The bottom line, if you look at the shirt she's wearing, you'll realize that on one machine, several machines, you can get locked in the machine because it's not tight clothing, which means that you can pretty much hurt yourself doing workouts at a gym that has machines if you use that kind of shirt. Then we go into the yoga pants or jeans, whatever you think she's wearing. And it's really funny to me because yoga pants are open on the bottom. They're not, you know what I'm trying to say? They're not tapered off. They're flare at the bottom. And the reason why I know is because I'm wearing some right now. And I don't understand. It's called a yoga pant because you're supposed to do yoga with it, not go work out at a gym. Again, when you have loose clothing like that, it's very possible for you to find yourself in a very scary situation with a machine that has cogs and wheels and all kinds of mechanical things that can trap your clothes and give you a really big scare. But I digress. Because that's not the reason why I'm making this video. Now, like I mentioned, I have a longer video where I'm going to go one by one and explain to you why some people have so many issues with traditional wives. And this is where I'm going to make some caveats. I fully believe that the real reason for women's liberation was that you should pick what you want to do with your life. Meaning, if you want to be a mom and stay at home, you can do that. If you want to go and get yourself a job and work outside the home, you can do that. If you don't have a choice and you have to get a job even though you would want to stay home with the kids, you can do that. No judgment. Unfortunately, there came a point where feminists got a little bit too much in their feelings and decided that the only women that were true feminists were those who decided that they were going to go to the workforce. That is incorrect. And any feminist that tells you that, and we're not going to get into the racial implications and all this other stuff, because yes, we can be there all day, and that's for the other video. What I want you to understand is the hypocrisy of it all, because a traditional woman is a woman who has stereotypical gender roles in her life, which means that she stays at home with the children and taking care of the home, making the home a better place for her husband. She wouldn't be spending the day on social media telling you how to live your life. Number two, a traditional woman means by definition that they believe they have some Christian values involved in this. I'm talking about the newer versions. And Christian values, let me think about this. Who said, "Judge lest ye be judged"? I do believe that's in the Bible or in some book like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to show you some screenshots here that I found in Isabella's account. I am not going to read them because I find them deplorable. But this person clearly doesn't have a problem writing slurs all over the internet. she doesn't seem to understand the concept of, you shouldn't be judging other people just because you disagree with them. Because here's the problem that many people are finding with Christian values. Many of these people who claim to, it's really interesting because many of these people who are Christian say that they believe in freedom of speech. But they only believe in freedom of speech if you agree with them. They don't agree with freedom of speech if that means that you're going to go work outside the house, or if you don't have a choice, or if you don't agree with them on how they believe in this God that they claim to love so much. Because let me explain something to you. To them, God is vengeful and he punishes people. Now, I don't know if you've ever read the Bible. I actually have read most of the Bible. The God in the first part of the Bible, the Old Testament, is not the same guy of the Second Testament, of the New Testament, I should say. The New Testament is a PR job to redeem the guy in the first part of the Bible. You can argue with me all you want, but if you've actually read the Bible, you will notice that. The guy in the New Testament is a God that loves his people, that wants the best for his people and whatnot, and he sends his son, who happens to be a socialist, and if you don't believe me, read the damn Bible. He's not the guy, he's very much, let's be real, he's the most accommodating, inclusive person in the entire Bible, and he's definitely not like the actual Christians, which is kind of ironic because they call themselves Christians, but the values that they're talking about are in the Old Testament, not in the New Testament, which is where Christ, therefore Christians, come from. Now, you might think that I am bashing Christians. No, that's not what I'm saying. I know a lot of Christians that are amazing people. What I'm saying is that these people that call themselves tradwives, that are on social media all day long, that believe in these Christian values, like this Isabella person. And by the way, the reason why I'm using her with her full name is because she's a public figure. So yes, I am. These people, first of all, let me explain something. Let me back up a second. Just in case you have any doubt, I've been married for 36 years. I am most definitely not a traditional wife. I was married into the Catholic Church. And for the first, 14 years of my daughter's life. Is it 14 or 15? 15, which means the first 20 years of my marriage, I was very much Catholic. I went to church. I donated my time. I helped organize 2 Christmas parties for the Catholic Church in my area. I always volunteered for things that, to help out with the church and the services and whatnot. I was very involved. I'm not just somebody that would just go to church. I was actually involved in the church. I graduated from Catholic school. And I graduated from Catholic college. So we're not talking about somebody that doesn't know the Bible very well, doesn't know the church very well. No, we're talking to somebody, me, who happens to be very involved in Catholic church. Something happened that I'm not going to get into in this video, but it made me change my mind about a lot of things. And that doesn't mean I don't believe in God. That means that I don't believe in organized religion. Okay, I want to make that very clear because I know I have some friends that are Christians and might feel like I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking you. Some of the people that I know here that are Christian are the nicest people you'll ever talk to. My issue is with people who do the exact opposite of what the Bible says and then have the gall to complain when other people don't believe what they believe, which is not what Christ stood for. In fact, Christ would rather hang out with a prostitute, hello Maria Magdalena, than hang out with the so-called priest. He attacked them with a whip. That's all you need to know. So, this traditional wife here, she decided that she's going to bash other people that don't believe the same way she believes. and espouse some really weird beliefs. And the reality is that this girl apparently only has one child. She's a new mother. I believe this is the first time she goes to the gym after giving birth. I'm not aware if she has 3, 4 children or one. She's not. She's more of an exception than the rule. Most of the new, more vocal, more popular tradwives have never had children or are on their first pregnancy. What the hell do you know about being a wife? And more important to me is this. Most of these girls are young because, of course, they want to attract the young people. Here's my problem with that. You have been married for 10 years or less. You have no idea what's waiting for you. Because when you're young, if you marry young, and by the way, I married at 21. My husband was 20, so we married really young. We were both healthy. We were both okay. He had a job. Eventually, I had to go get a job because the military didn't pay back in the days. I don't know how it is now, but it didn't pay well back in the day. So, and we made it work. Somehow we made it work. We were lucky enough to be fairly healthy when the baby came. I, unfortunately, tried to get pregnant 3 other times. It didn't work out. And by the way, I do believe on any woman's right to decide what they have to do in the case of a pregnancy, whether they want to stay or not. That's none of my business. The Bible says that the baby comes when you give birth to it. If you don't believe me, go and check the Bible. Since y'all are so obsessed with the Old Testament, you should check the Old Testament so you can find out exactly when the God decides that a baby is a baby. But anyway, I've never had one myself, but I have no right to tell somebody else what to do with their body. Much like I don't have a right to tell anybody else to do with their married life. So, as someone who's been married for 36 years, I think I do have something to contribute to this conversation. I have had the role of a traditional wife. When my daughter was younger, I went ahead and I quit working and I stayed home with her while my husband went and made a living. At that point in time, we could afford to do it. Very soon after she was old enough, like 12 or 13, we were not able to do it anymore because we couldn't afford it. Some people go work outside the home because they can't afford it. And traditional wives don't take that into consideration. But let's talk about the concept of traditional wife for a second because I started and then I veered off. You're not supposed to be on the internet telling people what to do with their lives. And here's the trick to this. Many of these women are making lots and lots of money, which means that technically they're not traditional wives. They're selling you a lie. And that's why I'm making a longer video about that. So for now, I'm just going to leave you with some images of some people or some accounts that claim to be for traditional values, but there's one in particular that I left for the end, and it's because this person actually gets it. And if you have a moment, please go and subscribe, because you might not agree with everything she says, and that's okay. We're not supposed to agree with everything anybody says. But, and I'm looking because I want to make sure that I give you her name, is Mrs. Manning. She's from Australia. And it's really funny because she turns the idea of a traditional wife on its head by at the same time showing you that don't include your religion's beliefs. Do what makes you happy is basically what the bottom line here is. If you want to stay home and take care of your children, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But if you're going to sit here trying to emulate these traditional wives, first of all, you're going to be judging people all the time, which makes you wonder, are you really happy with yourself and happy with your life? Because people who are happy with themselves don't feel the need to be bringing other people down by calling them whores and all this other stuff. Number two, if you're really Christian, you would know that Jesus' best friend, or depending on who you talk to, something else, was a prostitute. More importantly, I don't care if somebody's wearing a bikini to work out at a gym. what is that any business of yours? I don't go to the gym for people to look at me. I go to the gym to work out. Are there people that go to be seen? Yeah, clearly you are, Isabella, because that outfit was for people to look at you posing pretty next to your husband. That had nothing to do with actually getting a workout done. Workouts are messy. And the more comfortable and the more tight clothes you have in terms of not having things dangling and whatnot, the safer you would be at a gym. I cannot wait to see what you guys think about this. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Oh, and thank you to my patrons. Bye.